So Wentzville is a huge area out west in St. Charles County. It's growing really fast. It was actually the #2 fastest growing town in Missouri. So got a lot of stuff going on, and in this video we're going to go over the top 10 reasons really that are bringing people out to Wentzville.
Wentzville was started in 1896. There's about plus or minus 44,000 people living there. Wentzville is actually nicknamed the Crossroads of the nation because when you are in Wentzville, you're actually bordered by Highway 40 and Highway 70, and that is where they converge, hence the nickname Crossroads of the nation.
Two of the biggest highways in the St. Louis area, so you have those like intersecting right there, and that's Wentzville for you.
Yes, you can get anywhere you need to go in pretty much in Missouri from either Highway 4064 or from Highway 70.
Hey, welcome back to the video. I'm Jacob.
I'm Kelly.
So Kelly works with me. She lives in Wentzville herself. She's a Wentzville gal. And by the way, if you're moving to Wentzville or somewhere else in the St. Charles, St. Louis area, if you want to work together, we are practicing realtors. So send us an email, send us a text, whatever works for you. Let's get in touch.
We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. All right, so #1 reason to move to Wentzville is the school district. So Wentzville Schools is a really big district. There's about 17,000 students between all the schools in Wentzville, and it's a phenomenal school district.
Yes, actually the Wentzville School District is one of the fastest growing districts in Missouri. It is actually rated in the top 20% school districts in the state. So there are 20 schools, 4 high schools, Holt, which is actually the second oldest high school in Missouri.
Okay.
Then Timberland, Liberty, and North Point, which just opened 2 years ago.
Yeah, brand new high school.
Brand new.
And so you have how many kids that have gone through Wentzville
I have
schools?
4 kids. I have 1 in the Timberland currently, and then 2 of my older boys have graduated from Timberland.
Yeah, so Kelly can definitely speak to the quality of the Wentzville School District.
I'm very familiar with the Wentzville School District, yes.
So #2 reason to move to Wentzville, affordability. You have a lot to choose from if you're looking for a house, condo, villa, townhome. You have beautiful neighborhoods with great amenities, and it's just a lot more affordable than some of the more expensive parts of St. Louis County.
Yeah, it really is. Last year, the median sale price in Wentzville was $250,000. The lowest sale price was a $60,000 fixer-upper small home in the downtown historic area. And the largest sale was just under $2 million, which was a luxury estate, obviously on acreage.
Yeah, so whatever you're looking for, you have the whole spectrum in
very
Wentzville.
wide variety. I actually live in a subdivision where we have a little bit of acreage, but and that was what drew me out there.
Yep.
Which is a lot of land.
Just being able to buy a bigger house on a bigger piece of land for less than you would in other parts.
In my budget.
Yeah,
of
exactly,
course,
exactly. Yep.
Here's when I'm in trouble with my vocal cord.
You're good.
Okay, our third reason is my favorite topic, retail and shopping.
Yep, you got a lot of stuff to choose from in Wentzville. Like the Wentzville Parkway is definitely like the huge kind of shopping retail destination in Wentzville. You got like everything you can choose from along there.
Yeah, and in fact, all along the Wentzville Parkway, at the top of the Wentzville Parkway starts with Rural King, which is exactly what it sounds like.
It's Rural King.
Rural King, and then a bunch of restaurants. And then as you go further down, there's a Sam's Club, there's a Walmart, there's a Schnucks and a Dierberg's. You have a Target, a Kohl's, a Home Goods. Further down, there's little boutiques like Olive Tree Marketplace has a place there, which I love. There's small local restaurants like Rizzo's and Stefanina's. So the great thing about the Wentzville Parkway also is it does go all the way from Highway 70 to Highway 40. And at that Highway 40 side is where the GM plant is.
Honestly, like I feel like you could say it's kind of like the Wentzville equivalent of like the Valley. You know what I mean? Like not as big, but it's just like you have like everything you want along there, like big brand stores, local shops, restaurants, like a lot to choose from.
It is, and it's still growing. So that's where they opened up the new Recplex on the Parkway, and it just keeps there's still opportunity for development further down the Parkway. The top half, or the half by Highway 70, I would say, is pretty, it's not totally full because they're still building. They just opened a Chili's. I know there's plans for a Hawaiian Brothers. There's still a lot going on, even though they got
some good stuff coming. All right, so #4, parks. Outdoor space. You have a lot to pick from in Wentzville.
Not only a lot, but they're really beautiful. So we have Quail Ridge, which has phenomenal walking trails, and it is very well known as a dog-friendly park. My favorite park is Rotary Park because Rotary Park, little known fact, or maybe not little known, Rotary Park is where they have the Renaissance Fair.
Okay.
Have you been?
I've heard about it, have not been there.
It's wild. My son had a camel ride there. On a camel. And also the St. Charles County Fair is there. So it's a huge park. It is definitely a very important park to St. Charles County because it does, and Wentzville, because it does draw so much in with the Renaissance Fair and the St. Charles County Fair. We have Pahrump Valley Park, which has oh my gosh, it's got 4 baseball fields currently. There's plans for 3 more. And then there's walking trails surrounding there, and they're still adding on to that. Another really great park that I think Wentzville is extremely proud of is Jake's Field of Dreams, which is an all abilities, all-inclusive park built by Unlimited Play. And one of the executives of that company actually is a gentleman that I went to elementary school with.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool that they have like options to make it accessible to everyone. All abilities.
At least the ones in the St. Charles County area that I know of, there's Zachary's Park in Lake St. Louis, and then there's Jake's Field of Dreams. Those are actually named after children who have limited abilities who passed away. They're really, it's great, and I think that's something that we're really proud of. So then we do have Progress Park also, which has, it's probably the older of the parks. It has indoor basketball, it has a big pool outside, and it has baseball fields there as well.
Yeah.
So just a lot
to choose from. So reason number 5, if you're living in Wentzville, easy access to things. So like we touched on, you have the 2 major highways right there to go into St. Louis. That'll take you out west to Kansas City, wherever you're going. The thing with Wentzville is that it is, probably 40 or 45 minutes into like the downtown St. Louis area, but it's really just highway to get there. So you are further out from the city, but you have local highways, you have 64 and 70 right there to really make that commute easier.
Pretty much from anywhere that you live in Wentzville, even as far west as like where North Point High School is almost to Forestell, you can jump on a major highway. Where I live, which some people consider rural because I am on acreage, I am right by 2 of our smaller highways, which is Highway Z and Highway N, but those are easy roads to drive that take you directly to Highway 40 and or Highway 70. And because Wentzville is the crossroads of the nation and 40 and 70 converge, you can access either Highway 40 or Highway 70 extremely easily and get anywhere that you need to go. The airport takes 25 minutes to get to the airport, at least from my house.
Yep.
And you don't have to get on the busiest highways if you don't have to, because we do have so many secondary arteries. And in fact, the David Hochul Parkway just opened up, which alleviated some of the traffic to the parkway from the east side of Wentzville. We do have the Highway N expansion, which is moving Highway N to kind of alleviate some of the traffic jams that we have at the Z and N intersection. And I know there's a lot more. I know Interstate Drive has plans to be expanded. So there's still a lot going on to make travel a little bit easier.
And that's the great thing too, because Wentzville is growing very, very quickly. A lot of people moving out here, but they're really doing a good job keeping up with the infrastructure. They're expanding the roads, making it easier for congestion, because that's one thing people have talked about. Like, it's growing really fast. Like, what are they doing to keep up to it? They're opening, the 4th high school, the Recplex, and just expanding the highways to make sure it's not super trafficy.
I'm not gonna lie, the Wentzville Parkway can get pretty busy.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one
Wentzville Parkway can get pretty busy.
Because that's like a bunch of stoplights, a bunch of parking lots, and everyone's coming in and out, going shopping. But outside of that, like, it is a lot more like local highways compared to some parts in the county where if you're stuck on Manchester or you're stuck on Olive, that's a nightmare during rush hour traffic.
Yes, there's a lot of different ways to get yourself in, and it's only, I would say, only terribly busy on the weekends.
Yeah.
And the busiest, most traffic times of the day, obviously rush hour. But once you get past the top of the parkway, it opens up. It's not nearly as bad as Manchester or Highway K. So number 6 would be the restaurants and dining. I have a lot of friends that have moved out to the Wentzville area and have said to me, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? What am I going to eat? There are a ton of really great, really cool restaurants. We have Brett Hull's Junction House, which just opened in the last couple of years. We have huge chains, if you like things like that. 54th Street, obviously Chili's. There was an Olive Garden there. Some of the other local favorites, Rookie's, best wings you can find, fight me. We have Stefanina's, we have Rizzo's.
Yeah, and it's like you do have like a lot of chains, and like so that's one thing people might not like, because it's not going to be the same thing as like living in the city where you have like a bunch of the local shops and stuff. You do have like family owned stuff, but it is going to be a lot of big chains, like drive-through if you like that, but burgers, Starbucks, like whatever you're getting, like drive-through tacos, got everything
with 2 Starbucks.
It's great. It's great if you like it, you know what I mean, like because it's a very suburban area. It's not gonna be the place where you can live and just like walk from your house around the corner to get coffee unless you live somewhere close to Wentzville Parkway.
No,
but it's like it's like a very car dependent area, so the drive-through is nice if you're living in this area.
And there's a couple other, like Stone Summit, if you want more, I wouldn't say it's like a 4-star, but it is more fine dining. If you go to Stone Summit, they're really good. The Tattooed Dog is there, which is really fun. Of course, we have hot shots, but there's a lot going on in Wentzville. There's a lot to do. I think people think because we're so far west.
Yeah, they think there's not as much to do, but there definitely is a lot, and there's a lot going on that's like new coming to the area, like new development. So there is stuff to do if you're in Wentzville. So number 7 in Wentzville is employment, job opportunity, lots of stuff that brings people out here for work. I mean, the GM Assembly is a huge employer in the area. Hospitals, office space, a lot of stuff in Wentzville for jobs.
The GM plant is the largest employer. I think there's more than 4,000 employees working. I think they just eliminated the 3rd shift. So there's 2 shifts there. They build the GMC Canyon, the Savannah. It's where they assemble those trucks, and obviously our largest employer. But like you said, there's a lot of opportunity for employment. And all the businesses on the Wentzville Parkway, all the kids that I know that have jobs work at the Dick's or the Emos or the, one of the shops on the Parkway. There's a million jobs ever since COVID because so many people work from home. That's another thing that people like about Wentzville. It kind of matches the employment with the affordability. So if you can work from home in a more affordable home, I think that is definitely another reason that so many people like Wentzville.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a really big reason it's growing so much right now. Because like once COVID hit, if people can work from home, like suddenly they don't have to be as close to Clayton or to downtown, where it's like if you want to be 10 minutes away from your work, well, now if you can work remotely, it doesn't matter as much if you're living 30, 40 miles away, where you can get a nicer, newer built house in Wentzville.
Last year, I worked with 3 of the people that actually found us through our YouTube channel. They all moved to Wentzville, and of the 10 reasons that we're naming, the schools, of course, was one of the big reasons, but also employment. And 2 of them were working from home.
Yeah, that's awesome. So number 8 in Wentzville is just the... So number 8 in Wentzville, you have a lot of different variety to choose from with the houses. You have condos, villas, townhomes. You have some specific communities for 55 plus. You have beautiful subdivisions with great amenities. You have new construction in all sorts of places in Wentzville, like a lot to pick from if you want a newer built house. There's just a lot to pick from. Definitely
a lot to pick from, and it even surprises me because I was just driving around the other day and noticed a new development on Wilmer Road that I didn't know about. There's a development just west of West Hampton Woods that beautiful homes on acreage land sites. Like I said earlier, you can move into a $60,000 fixer-upper in downtown Wentzville to a $2 million luxury estate.
Speaking of the new development, new construction, that is like a whole different topic in itself. So if you guys have questions about new construction or specific builders really and what these new communities are offering, just email us or text us, because that's something we do a lot in Wentzville, especially because it is a really big thing to move out here to build, your own, your house, your floor plan, pick out your finishes. It's a huge process.
Some of our biggest subdivisions, like Stone Meadows, has amenities like walking trails, soccer parks, clubhouse. There's 2 pools, the one they call the adult pool and one that's not. And actually at either end of Stone Meadows is an elementary school, and at the end that borders Highway N is where the Timberland, Wentzville South Middle School and Boone Trail campus is. So there are lots of opportunities. You can live in a subdivision on acreage where you can have a little bit more land in your own pool. There are even areas of Wentzville that are unincorporated where you might have no restrictions. And I know a lot of people are looking for no restrictions. So you don't necessarily have to live in an HOA. We do have West Hampton Woods, East Hampton Woods. There's a lot of really, really nice subdivisions to choose from. Then you've got the Villages of Stonegate, which is over by the GM plant. So there's a ton of
And that's the thing too, because like Wentzville definitely isn't an urban area. It's like very suburban, but you have a mix of these very large subdivisions with all the amenities. But if you go down, the highway a little bit further, you have acreage, you have the land, you have more of that rural feel, if that's something you prefer, over living in a very large developed subdivision.
Some people prefer that.
Yeah, exactly. Like more space, bigger backyard, like no neighbors sitting right on top of you, like whatever your preference is, you can find both of those in Wentzville.
Absolutely.
All right, so what's number 9, Kelly?
So number 9 is the Downtown Historic District. So it is quaint, it is charming. They are doing so much down there. LB's General Store, which just expanded to an outdoor area, which is kind of like your old Five and Dime from the 1970s. There are, Duke's Barbecue. It's just so cute. That's where the train tracks run. It is where Wentzville Days are, and they're just doing so much to build up that area. We have an annual car show, which is really fun. Some of my favorite little shops are down there. There are cookie places where you can get from scratch bakehouses there. There is Friendship Brewery, which is really cool because they're a beer brewery. I know there's a hookah lounge. There's an outdoor entertaining space. And I know they're doing more down there. And it is just so charming. We do have the flea market every weekend. And it's, believe it or not, it is really fun.
No, it's really cool. And that's the thing too, because like you said, Wentzville was founded in 1896. And it's like, if you go through the historic area, it's kind of like you still see that, you know, historic little Missouri town. That's what it looks like in Wentzville. And then you have like, you know, all the development around it, but you still have that very charming, you know, main street in Wentzville, which is really cool.
It does very much have a Main Street feel. And I know that is the intent of that.
It's like they're preserving that, you know what I mean? Like they don't want it to turn into, you know, the mass developed historic district. Like they're keeping it small, local, very
charming.
Yeah.
Very charming. We have to go in there.
So number 10, recreation, activities, fun stuff to do. So we touched on the parks already, but I mean, you have the movie theater, you have the ice arena, you have paintball, arcades, like all sorts of just fun stuff to go do in Wentzville. If you want to take the kids, you know, somewhere on a Friday night or just go out for date night on a Saturday, like a lot to do in Wentzville. B&B
just announced that they are adding Screen X to one of their grand screens. So B&B movie theater is really cool. The theaters are all lounge chairs, so it's very comfortable. There's also a restaurant and a bar at the front side of the movie theater, but they just announced that they are making one of their grand screens into a Screen X, which is where the movie plays not just on the screen in front of you, but on the screens on the side. We have Wacky Warriors paintball. Kids love to do that. There is Playtime Party Center, which is actually like an adult arcade. The Lindenwood Ice Rink, where the kids can go skating or go watch like the local high schools play soccer or play hockey. They don't play soccer in the ice rink. So in November, we opened up a brand new Wentzville Rec Center, which is an indoor pool. It's a weight room, it's basketball courts, it's just all kinds of really fun activities in this multi-million-dollar, beautiful, beautiful building right on the Wentzville Parkway.
Just again, like more new stuff happening in Wentzville. It's really coming together.
We have golf courses and driving ranges, Splash Station, which is really fun in the summer for the kids. It's like an outdoor water park. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do activity-wise that's not necessarily just going to a park or a restaurant.
It's a fun area. I mean, honestly, like Wentzville is really cool. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of development. So again, if you're moving to the area, just send us an email, send us a text, whatever works for you. We'd love to help you with that process. We love getting to work with clients who come to us through YouTube.
It's our favorite thing to do.
Absolutely. So thank you for watching. We appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video on the Living St. Louis channel.
There is a song that was written about Wentzville. It's called
Wentzville W.
Back to Wentzville. It was written and performed by George Thorogood and the Destroyers, and it was actually a tribute to Chuck Berry. George Thorogood long wanted to work with Chuck Berry, and I don't think they ever got the opportunity to work together. Chuck Berry, for a large part of his life, lived in Wentzville. And there's a song written about Wentzville. It actually references driving down Highway Z.
I love that.
Listen to it.
I did.